Got a solid back to it. Waviness. Look at this wavy.
God, when I look at myself, I didn't even realize how good it looked.
Had a lot of practice watching Chipotle burritos, so I wrap it like that. I got to go be Uncle Justin here in a little bit.
Can we talk about your mustache?
It's very robust.
It's feathered and lethal.
No, that's not fair to say at all.
I knew I should have had somebody else do this with me.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, I think.
Try it again.
The Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldy, presented by Coors Light.
Welcome to another weekly installment of the Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldy, presented by Coors Light. And Marco, we once again are going to one of your rotation mates this week. Please introduce this week's guest.
This week's guest, one of our newcomers by trade from the New York Mets. You guys all know him. You guys are probably super excited to see this guy on the bump. My guy, Justin Dunn, is with us today. Justin, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Justin, I do feel a little threatened in the hair game this week.
Obviously,
this is my strength, and I feel like you are kind of coming in on my turf a little bit, but it's cool, man. It's cool. Like there's no animosity here, okay?
No. You're always feathered and lethal, so I can't even compete.
Feathered and lethal, he says.
Little movie quote. I had to drop it for you.
Hey, that's probably like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to Goldsmith. So like, Goldie, write that down because that ain't gonna happen again.
I mean, it's the nicest thing that will ever be said on this show to me. That's for sure, especially with Marco involved. Feathered,
yes,
and
feathered.
Okay,
and lethal.
Like I'm gonna just admit being naive here. Like, I don't know what movie that's from.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yeah. Coiffed. It's like White Goodman.
Yes, exactly.
Goodman
White Goodman.
I will
Eric
admit
Goodman coming at you.
It's been some time since I have dodgeball, but that will be part of the quarantine mix. Hey, man, you've got like a pretty interesting living situation. I know one of your roommates just hours ago left the house, but tell us about who you're living with, what's going on, and what it's like day to day.
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. Well, I was with Kyle Lewis, Jake, and the Fraleys. And we are in a nice little house here in Glendale, about 15 minutes from the facility. Pretty cool setup, big house with a nice big backyard. They have a little pop-up net in the backyard with a little tee. Styles gave us a huge bucket of balls. Cliffy gave us a couple things from the weight room. So we have a little garage gym set up and trying to make the best of our situation. But we've been having a lot of fun, a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of MLB The Show, a lot of barbecues. So
you've been getting
a good time.
You've been getting out on the course a little bit too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How does very good.
How does the squad swing it? The Fraley and Kyle, how do they swing it out on the course?
They should probably stay in the box. Kyle's come a long way. Jake's only golfed about 4 times in his life, and he's picking it up pretty quick. But we still got a long way to go.
Let the pitchers do that multi-sport stuff, man. We're the
athletes. We're the athletes.
Yeah, that was a big debate, Goldie, during spring training of if you had to put a 5-on-5 club together, would position players win or would pitchers win? And we got guys like Taiwan. I mean, Graveman can really shoot. JD, we got Tui said that he was the best shot, but he was probably the worst.
Or Tui.
He did all of our smack talking, though, so that was great. So it was interesting. And then, like, kind of
Chef.
On, like, Chef, too. Like, debating on, what side would win in certain sports. And then we were like, well, what about, like, football? If we had, like, 7-on-7 football, like, who do we got? Who's playing what?
Yeah, but like the position crew, man, like D's just going to take all the shots. Anything he misses, Vogie's just going to clean up the glass and just throw it down. I mean, that's
I got D.
Body for Vogie, man.
I got D. And Taiwan's got us down low. Like you're not going to.
He's an animal, man.
To get a ball. So like that's all I'm saying. We got a chance.
Hey, man, everybody's journey to get to the big leagues or even just to get to pro ball is different. But for you, Justin, I mean, it didn't seem like from a young age you maybe had the build to be a guy who was looked on as, hey, this guy's going to go pro one day. The skill set was, I think, obviously there as a young man. But can you tell us a little bit about just what it was like for you playing as a kid and who it was or maybe what it was that made you love baseball as much as you clearly do?
So I fell in love with the game through my pops. I'll never forget going to watch him play in his men's league games and just playing catch with him in the front yard or doing those little things is where I fell in love. And then I think the first time I pitched being in control of the game I kind of fell in love with having the ball in my hands and just feeling like everything revolved around me. And it was like the one place, no matter if I had a good day, bad day, or anything in between, I could step on a mound and everything goes away and I'm just at peace with myself. So that's really where the love came from. But definitely was a little undersized, to say the least. Had a lot of people that didn't believe in me, and I had a pretty strong support system to keep me going.
How big or how small were you when you were a freshman in high school?
I'll put it in this perspective. My grandmother was 4'11", and when I went to high school, I was not taller than her. So we'll put that in perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, your high school experience is not like anyone else's high school experience. You're from New York. You go to this boarding school in Connecticut, the Gunnery School. Tell us about the Gunnery School and what in the world that place was like.
So first and foremost, it's not a military school. My parents do love me. It's not a military school.
I was just thinking off the name. I was like, that has to be a military school right away. Like that's
everyone asked me that. Was that a military school? Were there girls there? Was it all guys? So it was not a military school. There were girls there. But I did live away from home from age 13 to 17. There were roughly 300 kids in my school, entire school. So my graduating class was 28 people. And then we were known for hockey, so we weren't even really a big baseball school, but we competed with Salisbury and a bunch of different other prep schools that were ranked nationally in the country. But the reason I went there was because my coach coached in the Cape in Falmouth. So he was pretty connected to all the colleges and pro ball teams. And my dad kind of felt that if I would have stayed home and went to public school, I would have gotten abused just based off talent when I finally did mature and even out with everybody else. So he decided to send me up there, and I completely fell in love with the campus. The academics were great. I mean, one of my great friends was the inventors of Hudson News. So I met some really cool people and got to learn a lot about a lot of different things as a really young kid. So it was a great experience.
How did you feel like going off to a boarding school, especially ages 13 to 17? I mean, doing what you're doing now, how do you feel like that prepared you, being away from your family and kind of traveling and being on your own? I mean, the life we live now, essentially you're a one-man business and you're on your own a lot. So, how has that prepared you for everything that's come forward in your life now?
Bro, it's everything. I mean, a lot, especially when I first got there, like I had no friends. Like I was a little kid. Nobody thought I was good at baseball. So I'd tell people I was good at baseball and they'd laugh at me. So I spent a lot of time in my room alone. And then you get to be really independent. I had to manage study hall. I had study hall at 13 years old for 3 hours a night. I had to do all my own homework, do my own laundry, stuff like that. Yeah. So even when I got to college, like I love to tell this story. All my teammates had their parents move them in and all that stuff. My parents legitimately, my mom made my bed. We dropped my bags off. I gave them a hug and they rolled out because I had been unpacking dorm rooms for 4 years before that. It just wasn't anything different. I walk into my friends' rooms, their mom's making the bed, putting things away, making sure they're okay, like on the verge of tears. And my mom was like, I'll see you on Thanksgiving. So, yeah, call me if you need cash. I'll see you on Thanksgiving. Yeah. And I get to pro ball, and it's kind of the same thing. You know, you get on the bus, I'm by myself. You know, you get into a hotel room, you go eat a lot of the times before start by yourself. So I've been used to being on my own and kind of being in my own thoughts and really become kind of used to it. And in a lot of different ways.
Were there etiquette dinners at this school?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, I don't know how you found this stuff out. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we had formal dining dinners. So you have your advisor, and you have to sit down at this big round table with fork, knife, like know what knife you're eating with, what the soup spoon, the salad fork, the dinner fork, dinner knife, dessert knife, like all that. Go up. So your freshmen would always have to go get the food. So I would get up with this big tray and come back like holding it like this with food for everybody. Yeah, man. Put it down on the table.
Food on it. Well, you got
everybody.
Okay.
So like take like post game and like the trays they come in.
Yeah.
So that would go on like a big waiter like table kind of thing. I would carry it to like the table, put it down on the table, then ask you what you wanted, scoop it out, put it on your plate, go to Siegs, what would you like, put it on your plate, and like it goes by seniority. Then ask my advisor, then go get people drinks, come back, pour the drinks, and then I'd have to clean the table up. put the table, like put all the stuff back, take it to the like cleaning area, give it to them, then take the linens, fold the linens into like a ball, and then take it to get washed every Tuesday and Thursday.
When are you eating? Are you eating in there somewhere too?
I eat last.
Because I didn't hear that part. I was like, you're just serving everybody else.
Again, I was like 110 pounds, so I wasn't eating much anyway. I would wait till the dessert came out most of the time. I was really picky.
Okay.
But I would eat last. I'd get the scraps of whatever the senior football players didn't want.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting stuff that people don't hear this side of it. You know, you think of the school like that, you think of what that entails, but the details to hear it and what you went through as a freshman is just incredible.
When they told me I was going to boarding school, I was watching Zoe 101, so I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be sick." I'm gonna have scooters with like sushi stands.
Yo, that show is the best though. That show is great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you pushed forward in your career like an appropriate amount, or do you feel like your parents kind of paved this way for you? And then you kind of took that and kind of formed that path for yourself? Or do you feel like you would have been this aggressive on your career without them doing this for you?
I think I would have been this aggressive without them. Because, I mean, they pushed me, and it honestly would, like, push me away. Like, my dad would be like, go work out. I was like, no, I'm not working out. I don't need to work out.
Yeah.
So that never had an effect on me. I honestly would do a lot on my own. I just kind of had that, like, drive to, like, go in the basement and, like, I made a little strike zone, and I would just go throw balls off the wall in the basement or, like, play wall ball with myself. And in high school, I would email my coach like, yo, can we open the batting cage? And I would be there from 10 in the morning till 1 or 2 in the afternoon just by myself. That's probably why I don't hit anymore. But I was doing it all on my own.
What made BC a good fit for you?
So I was small. I was a two-way at the time. I was like, when I committed to college, I was 5'8", 140 pounds. And I thought I was going to be a two-way until my junior year. So I was talking to a couple other schools, but they were either wanting me just to pitch or just to play shortstop. I didn't want to do that. And BC was like, hey, you can come here and do both. And when you step on campus, you fall in love with the campus, especially in the winter and the fall. And then my coach was amazing. He made me feel welcome from day one. And then me and my dad had some conversations about going through the draft process, just thinking, I think it'd look cooler to go in and say, you beat UNC, you beat Wake Forest, you beat Virginia, you beat Louisville, instead of saying I went to Louisville and I beat Boston College.
Yeah.
While it's still a great program, it looks cooler to beat the powerhouses than it does to just beat the regular ACC school. So those two things played a lot into my decision.
Yeah, I can definitely relate with that too. Being in the same boat, I heard some of the schools that Gonzaga played, and you know, they played U of A, played Arizona State. Played Arkansas a couple times, and UW, Washington State, Oregon, you know, all the Pac-12 schools. So I was in the same boat of like, you know, just thinking of, hey, maybe I could be on that team that goes in and beats some of these guys. And, you know, especially trying to raise that, you know, that quality of that program and go in and make an impact, you know, and leave something better than you found it. You know, it translates.
100%.
It translates a lot to what we're doing now, you know, with the squad that we're on. You know, we're trying to ultimately change, you know, where we're headed. And I think that if you have that mentality already of going in and leaving a place better than you found it, then I think that's the start to, you know, a great culture and a winning culture, just because it's a good way to get everybody pulling the rope the same way, you know?
Yeah. My entire class, from day one, I mean, when we all committed, they were coming off a 12-40 season. So all of our friends were like, what are y'all doing? And we were like, we're going to change the culture. Like, we're going to get this team to Omaha. So it was pretty cool to like get to a super regional for the first time in school history and literally be one pitch away from going to Omaha for the first time and almost achieving what we wanted to do. So it was an amazing experience, man. And like you're 100% right. It's exactly what we're trying to do now.
Yeah. That feeling's pretty incredible when, you know, you go in and people are betting against you and no one knows who you are. You know, I remember playing games against, you know, Pac-12 teams and people are like, where is Gonzaga? What state is that in? You know, everyone thought we were in California or Oregon, and no one knows where we were. So being able to go in and then have people remember who they got beat by, and that sticks with people longer for sure. So that's
100%.
It's a pretty good feeling beating someone in that sense.
So Justin, take us through kind of the development that you went through during your time at Chestnut Hill, because you pitched as a freshman and a sophomore there, a little time in the rotation, some time in the bullpen as well. And then after your sophomore year, you go to the Cape, have a really strong summer in Cape Cod against the nation's best collegiate hitters. You come back and, man, you just dominate, it looks like, your junior year. And, of course, the rest is history. Become a first-round draft pick. We'll talk about that in a bit. But how did you develop the most during your time in college as a pitcher?
So it all started my freshman year, man. I came in and, like, couldn't throw a strike to save my life, like, bad. And my academics fell. My coach called me one day and was like, hey, you got to stay for summer school. Like, you just absolutely pooped the bed. Like, you're down credits. God forbid something happens again. You won't be able to play. You won't be able to graduate. We're not doing that. You're staying for summer school. So stayed for summer school, started working out, like really getting in the gym. I went down and played in the Cape, and it was like the start of things starting to click for me. And played at Katuitt, pitched against them. They offered me a contract as a freshman, and I said no. Ended up going to Baltimore, where I got with some really, really great coaches and the Baltimore Redbirds. Things really started to click, put my name kind of on the map as a closer. So then we came in. I was anticipating being the closer from day one as a sophomore, but we got a new pitching coach, and he wanted me to start. So I came into the rotation. I would pitch well for 3-4 innings every start, and then somehow get hit. I didn't really have that fourth pitch or the third pitch to get through the lineup the third time or the second time through and really control a game. So my coach kind of came to me one day and was like, listen, I want to put you in the bullpen. What are your thoughts about it? And like I said, all I cared about before was I want to get to Omaha. That's all I care about. So whatever you tell me my best chances to help the team get there, that's what I want to do. I'm built up to go 6 innings, so why don't I pitch 3 on Friday? Let's lock a win down on Friday, and then give me a day off. I can pitch 2 times in a weekend. If I pitch 2 times in a weekend, we're sitting pretty. So that ended up being the best thing for the team. Go to the Cape, have a really good year. It was the first time being up for 7 days straight and had some really good success. Saw I wasn't getting too sore, so came in my junior year and I was like, hey, forget that whole 3-1. I'm up every day. I'm closing the door every time you need me. Like, that's my job. If we're going to do this, we have 3 really good starters. We have 2 guys in the middle that can bridge it to me. Give me the ball, and I'm going to lock the game down. Like, that's it. We're going. This is the year to do it. This is how we're going to do it. And we came out the gates hot. I think we were undefeated until like 4 weeks in. And then we had a skid where I wasn't pitching for 3 weeks, and we were playing UMass at home on a Tuesday. And I usually didn't pitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It would be like my down days kind of. And my coach called down, was like, hey, get up. And I was like, all right. Started throwing, whatever. And he said, no curveball, no slider, just change up, fastball change up. And I went out, pitched really well. And coach called me in the office the next day and was like, hey, you're starting against UVA next Saturday. Get out of my office. And I was like, what? And kind of like was going crazy on the inside. So I went to my roommate who's with the Yankees now, Mike King. I was like, bro, I have no clue what I'm doing. So like, I need you to walk me through all of this tomorrow. Like whatever you do, I'm doing it. And this man literally was like next to me in the locker room, like, all right, get dressed now, put your heat pack on now, go outside, put your cleats on, do your bands, run.
Guide you through the whole routine.
To the whole routine. Like, looked like a second pitching coach. I ended up going 5 and pitching pretty well and really hitting my stride, and was blessed to carry it through the entire year. And we ended up winning a lot of games, going to the Super, and then getting drafted. So it really started that freshman summer for me and took off throughout through the off seasons and years to come.
Is there anything, I mean, going back and forth from being a starter and being a reliever and a closer, doing what you're doing now, being a starter, what have you learned as far as being a reliever that's helped you to be a better starter? I know sometimes kind of being able to flip that switch quick is a big help in that, but is there anything else that you've taken from being your time as being a reliever that helps you to be a starter now?
I think it's just the mentality, man. I know we've talked about it a lot of just like the here it is, hit it. You know, when I first started starting, I was trying to like nibble. My pitch count was super high in those 5 innings. I'm trying to nibble, make my stuff last. And then my buddy was like, hey, dude, you gotta shove it down their throat and get in, get out, be efficient. That's the only way you're going to help us as a team.
Yeah.
And so when that kind of clicked for me and I was like, here it is, hit it. I'm going to shove it down your throat for if it's 4 innings or 7 innings, I'm going to give you all I got until they come and get me and take the ball out of my hands. And when I was closing, it was literally once I touched the mound, I knew the game was over. I was just going to let it eat at you for 9 to 12 pitches and we were going to go home with a win. So kind of learning how to channel that into carrying it deeper in the game. And it's something that you do so well that like is really what took me to the next level and really started when I got to pro ball. I didn't really have it in college. I still kind of thought back off, but fill the zone up. And now I'm getting to the point of I can get back to attacking and fill the zone up at the same time.
Hey, Justin, man, I want to talk about the video of you getting drafted.
All right.
Because first, you're with your teammates, it looks like, right?
Yep.
Okay. And your Boston College teammates, and you're in like a restaurant of some kind?
Duffy Sports Bar and Grill in South Beach.
They say your name, and the whole place goes crazy. I'm like, I got to know what that moment was like.
So they mic'd me up for the night, and I thought I was going at 11 to Seattle. So I'm watching the board. Yeah, man, crazy. T-Mac had told me the week before, hey, we got K-Lou ahead of you, but if he's not there, we're taking you. Like, it's solidified. So
you're a friend of Tom McNamara?
Yeah.
Okay, of the Mariners front office, part of the draft process.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the draft, and gets down to Oakland, which is where like originally Kyle was supposed to go, but for some reason AJ Puck slipped or something. I don't know what happened, but AJ Puck was still there. They took AJ Puck, and I was like, oh no, the whole thing got thrown off. So now in my head, I'm like, I have no idea where I'm going. So I'm thinking that I'm going to Boston probably. It was one of the teams I had talked to a lot coming up, and or LA. So they pass, Boston passes, and now it's coming down to 18 and 19, which is the two New York teams. So I look at my pops and I'm like, I'm coming home. Like I talked to the Yankees a lot. That was like my childhood dream. It would have been so surreal to go home. They passed. So then I was like kind of bummed because I hadn't talked to the Mets at all. So my attention kind of slipped to LA and Toronto, the two picks below that. And so I'm sitting there on my phone. I think I was texting my girlfriend at the time, honestly. She was asking how I was feeling. She could tell I was down. I was like going to the bathroom, and the camera guy was following me. I looked at the dude. I was like, listen, leave me alone. I need a minute. I'm going to the bathroom. If I get a call, you'll hear me talking on the microphone. I'm outside, but I'm just going to pee, so leave me alone. So I'm sitting there, I'm texting her, and something's like, lift your head up and watch the draft. And that's when my name got called, and I guess it was just all the emotion of being built up and like the highs and lows, and I just let it out. And it was cool to kind of get embraced by all my teammates and then go hug my family and share that with them. But then the flip kind of switched. I didn't really get to enjoy it because coach is like, all right, on the bus, got to go home. You're playing at 7:30 tomorrow night. So I had to go right back to work.
Shut it down. All right.
Shut it down.
Refocus. But how do you refocus after that, man? It's like, oh my gosh, the emotions are like, they're flowing. I mean, it's just, you have your family, you have your team. It's just everything that you ever dreamed of in one day.
No, Justin, it's crazy. So, like, you recap this. You're this scrawny little kid in high school. You put together a great high school career. You go to a major college conference, and you help to resurrect a program. You can't throw a strike as a freshman. You then make your way to the Cape, where you pitch so well that it propels you to a junior season that gets you taken 19th overall. You go to maybe not your boyhood team, but the team down the street from your boyhood team. Is that fair to say, right? You go to the Mets, and then you get traded, man. You get traded. Yeah. Not only do you get traded, dude, you get traded to the outpost of the American League, like as far away from home as you can even imagine possible. Take us back to the day and the exact moment when you found out that you're part of, not only are you part of a trade, man, you're part of a trade that involves Robinson Cano. I mean, tell us what that was like.
So me and Kelnick were together. We were on a golf course in Florida at strength camp for the Mets. So we were down there working out, and the notification pops up on our phones literally at the same time. We look at each other like, what is this? So we had a group dinner for all the guys down there at strength camp, and our player development guy was down there, and I was like, what is this? And he was like, don't believe everything that you hear. I was like, all right, cool. I kind of texted my agent, and I was like, what is this? Like, can we talk to Brody and find out what's going on? And all I got was sit tight. So in my head, I'm like, what is this?
Going down.
So I text my mom. I was like, hey, just a heads up, I may be getting traded right now. And she's like, what? where? And I said, Seattle. She was like, Seattle? That's across the country. Like, what do you mean? I think the first word she says was, they can't do that. And I said, yes, they can, Mom. They very well can do that.
Classic mom statement right there. Like, no, they didn't get my approval.
Yeah, so she was like, they can't do that. And I was like, yeah, me and my dad were like, yeah, they can. They can do whatever they want. At first, I'm really bummed, like, because I was starting to envision getting called up. Like you said, like, Citi Field is 20 minutes from my house, 25 minutes. So I was like, I'm going to get called up. I'm going to fly to JFK. I'm going to take an Uber home where my boy's going to pick me up. I'm going to put the key in the front door, and that's how I'm going to tell my parents I got called up. Me and my boy are going to get an apartment here. Like, things are starting to pan out. I can see my future finally. And all of a sudden the trade gets through and everything comes crashing down. I have to reevaluate life. I'm getting ready to leave for Florida to start training. Now I have to figure out if I need to go to Seattle for physicals or anything. And then I start to think back and really reflect, and I'm like, honestly, it's a blessing, because at the time I probably wouldn't have been fighting or would have gotten up in September at all if I was still over there, just with how powerful that staff is and the arms that they have in that system top to bottom. So I was really excited with the opportunity. And then after I talked to Jerry and after I talked to Skip, and remember that this is where I thought I was going to be if you had asked me 2 years before this.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is just things coming full circle, and I'm where I'm supposed to be, and the opportunity is amazing, and we're a young team, and my college roommate was with the Mariners in the organization already. So I had a familiar face. I had someone to help ease me into the transition. And other than leaving home, I was extremely ecstatic about the opportunity, and to hear my name mentioned with arguably my childhood hero, or one of my childhood heroes. I mean, I grew up watching that man hit doubles in left center at Yankee Stadium. It just, there's one day where I watched him hit 3 doubles in one game. I couldn't believe it. So to hear me get mentioned with him was really cool, and kind of my moment of like, it's starting to happen. I'm starting to get to where I want to be in this game. And so it was a whirlwind of emotions, but definitely was extremely excited about it.
You know, to echo what you said, it's like, you know, the most basic thing. It's basically like getting transferred to a different school in a different school district. You're like, okay, I got to find some friends now. Where do I sit? What do I do? Like, even 100%. Like, what door do I go into the field? Like, who's the travel guy? Like, who do I talk to? I mean, it's like the most extreme transfer that you could think of, and there's not any other job like it. Where literally, I know when I was traded, I was on a flight the next day to Tacoma from Memphis, and even though I had made my debut with the Cardinals already, shifting to another team and all of a sudden having now these you're on a different process and you're in a different system, and they have different, the entire system about it. I mean, you have to adjust. And so I think there's that transition period that you go through where your future starts to get a little cloudy for a second, and then you can reset and kind of go back and kind of get back after that too.
So Justin, who's the first phone call, man, when you find out you're getting the call up to Seattle?
Very first phone call was Mom. Very first phone call.
That's the right call to make.
Yeah, very first one was Mom, then Dad, then girlfriend, college coach, high school coach, went down the line, and my pitching coach from home.
Marco, do you remember when Dunn Deal starts walking into the clubhouse for the first time in September, man, what that was like? I mean, can you put yourself in – you remember what that was like when you walked into a big league clubhouse for the first time, I'm sure?
Yeah, when Dunn Deal, when he showed up, here's what's great about JD is that he's willing to do, like he said about, your college days, you're willing to do the things that you need to do, that you're called upon for the team to win. You understand that everyone has a role. You understand that it's not always going to be a perfect role, but you understand that the way a team wins is everyone accepts that role and tries to be great at it. And so I think when you have a guy like that, and when you have someone who knows their body, they have a good work ethic, you're like a sponge, you want that information, you receive it. And that's what I've said is so great about the guys we have coming up, is that none of them are walking around like they have it figured out, because I think we've set the right tone about, hey, we're all in this to learn and grow, because that's how we have a good team. We don't just figure it out one day. It's a continuous process. And so I thought that you did a great job of coming up and accepting that, and then really trying to get on a good system with the routine, because the adjustment from minor league baseball to the MLB, your routine can be completely different just because of the facilities you have, the people that are around you, the timing of the games, the travel, everything like that. So I just remember preaching like, dude, whatever you've been doing, just keep doing it. Stay on your stuff, stay on your arm care, and stay healthy because you're no good to us if you're on the DL. So, just try to keep yourself involved and learn as much as you can. And I thought he did a great. At the end of the year, man, you were rolling and you really had a good system figured out. So that's why I was so excited going into this year and going into camp, because I feel like along with you, we had a lot of guys who were in that boat figuring out who they were and growing in that and really kind of embracing their presence and their personality. So I thought that went really well last year. And it was a lot of fun to have those guys up because I thought it gave us a lot of energy at the end of the year. And, we felt like we were kind of playing for something, even though we weren't. We were playing to get to know each other, and that was a pretty cool feeling too.
Justin, you keeping your pregame meal routine the same going forward? I mean, we got it every 5 days. I mean, I don't know. Marco's pretty strict, man. I mean, I know he's
Marco
like
yelled
taking
at
out
me
on
when
like
he found
chips
out
and
about the
guac right now.
burger.
Yeah, but you got to tell us how long has it been going
Come on,
on?
man. We can't have
What is
any
it?
game burgers.
Give me the exact details.
So the burger started with my college roommate Scott Barron. We were at Georgia Tech, and his dad took us to dinner before the game, and all that was open was this little sports bar. So again, I'm a real picky eater, so I got a burger, and I ended up going CG pitching. Like me and my buddy who were at the game, we went CGs and ended up getting us into the ACC tourney. And from there on, I had to have a burger. Then I started to realize that you can't just eat like that and expect to have success. So it transformed into some type of red meat, which then turned into steak. So it is now steak with usually asparagus and potatoes.
There we go.
And then before the game was a nice omelet with some spinach, some bacon. I've got a lot better. And then Chipotle. I have to have Chipotle before every game.
Well, no, wait. I'm confused now. So we're going Chipotle, but there's a steak earlier?
Steak the night before.
Night before.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need intimate detail on the Chipotle order.
I'm simple. It's not even really an order. I get a bowl with double rice, double steak, and just cheese and some chips. And then
come on, man.
Fair enough.
I usually the fun thing with it is like if I give you chips before the game and I shove, you're getting my chips every single game for the rest of the year.
One of the things we talked about though with having a strict routine is the ability to be flexible, and I sense that that's not the case here. This is a quote unquote done deal. If it happens once, it's cement.
It's done. Evan White, if you go out like in the dugout before the game, Evan White will always have my gum in his helmet. Always. Had one good game. I forgot to carry my gum. I said, "Yo, can you take this down?" He said, "Yep." Took it down. I had a good game. He's carried it every game since.
That's a homie right there.
Yeah, he gets that, and K-Lu gets my my Theragun. You'll always see him with it. So,
all right.
I'm superstitious in that aspect.
I was gonna say you're highly superstitious.
Extremely. To the point where like I had one good game where I FaceTime my mom while I was eating breakfast, and now I have to FaceTime my mom while I eat breakfast every morning.
That's a good one.
Before it starts.
You're right, Marco. That's good.
That's a great one to have. I love that. Love that about you.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, I talked to Marco in a pre-show production meeting about this, but since you've got great lettuce, I need to know. I mean, I'm on day 5 of my quarantine mustache. I mean, I know you noticed. You just didn't want to say anything because you didn't want.
Probably didn't notice.
I mean, you definitely noticed because it's thick
I didn't want to
luscious.
take the attention away from my beard that I'm trying to grow.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I feel very strongly about the potential here. I mean, how are you feeling about like a week from now? How glorious this is going to be? Not that it's not already, but
I see a Will Ferrell Anchorman mustache coming.
Thank you.
In the distance.
Thank you.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. Wow. So it's going to be round. That's a problem. That's an issue. There's going to be.
I do think you need to bleach it though.
I do need to bleach it.
Oh,
I think you should bleach it. I did it once in the Cape. I did it. It's possible.
You bleach your mustache?
Yeah, for playoffs.
Do you regret that decision?
My mother made me cut it the next day. She said, I'm not letting any scout see you with a blonde mustache. And it was before I had the blonde hair.
Yeah, see, in this case, Goldie's wife would shave that off in his sleep. So
yeah, you have higher powers that be. I'd run that up the food chain first, for sure.
Yeah, because we know you're at the bottom.
I think what COVID is teaching me most of all is that I've been missing this my whole life, and I didn't know how great I could really be. So
I agree with that.
All right, we'll let you know.
I mean, it looks good. It looks
Thank you.
good.
That means a lot coming from you. I knew I couldn't trust Marco. On to our Twitter question of the day. This comes from Hez Says, and she would like to know from both of you guys, can you inform us of a quarantine skill or hobby that you have adopted during this unique time in our lives?
I make an unreal breakfast burrito. I found that out.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what goes into the burrito here? What do we got?
Bacon, egg, and cheese, and a burrito. But I cook the bacon, and then I kind of cook the burrito in the bacon grease, so it gets a little extra flavor.
Ooh, there you go. Pro tip right there.
I like that.
Melt the cheese in there, and then do the eggs, put it all in there together, wrap it up. I've had a lot of practice watching Chipotle burritos, so I wrap it like that.
That's solid. I like the bacon fat fry is a very nice touch. Marco,
you have to dump a little bit out, not excess.
Oh, sure. I understand. You can't be egregious with it.
Yeah.
No.
Marco, have you done anything to better yourself over the last month and change? Or have you just been sitting in West Seattle, having Monica make all of your meals, doing some body lunges once a day?
Lunges. Yeah. No, I mean, I think to echo that, I mean, I was going to say something similar. I think cooking, we cook 98% of our meals right now. I mean, we've ordered takeout a couple times, help out the local restaurants and some things like that. But we've done homemade pasta. We've done all these vegan bowls, and we're trying to do a lot of plant-based stuff with some fish. So we'll do a lot of salmon with a lot of quinoa, and just getting on board with that has been awesome. So I feel like diet, nutrition-wise, it's taken a whole nother step in the right direction, I feel like. So that's been fun to get those skills kind of locked down. I feel like I'm just head chefing it in the kitchen these days. So it's been good.
Do you feel like the added flow to your hair is because of your plant-based diet?
Yeah, I was wondering when you were going to comment on this. I feel like I'm going to let this go. And
Justin. Marco, every time we hop on one of these things, Marco's like, oh, look at my hair. And I'm like, dude, it's not bad, but it's not memorable.
Here's the reason why I say it is because I woke up and I went like this, and it looks like that. And I know for a fact that you spent 45 minutes doing whatever you did to your head to look like that. And that mustache too, which is a part of it. That thing's oh. So the whole operation, that's why I like to give you a ton of crap about it, because I went like this and you were in the mirror with a light and a camera.
Yes, you're right. Yes, Marco, I did turn the lights on. Marco, I did turn the lights on. I'm sorry that makes me an outlier, because I noticed your lights are on also, Marco. I got it, to be honest, jealousy does not wear well on you. Okay. All right, let's get the quick pitch.
Let's go.
Justin, this is where we fire away very rapidly at you. You stand no chance. We destroy you with questions that you wish you had 5 minutes to think about, but you in reality have 1 second.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're hydrated. We begin. We already know the answer to this. We already had a spoiler. Breakfast burritos or breakfast sandwich?
Breakfast burrito.
Would you rather sing on stage or dance on stage?
Sing.
Video games or board games?
Video games.
White wine or red wine?
Red.
Scott Service is coming to your house for dinner. What are you cooking for him?
Chicken parm.
All right. Would you rather cook at home or would you rather go out to eat?
Go out to eat, unless somebody's going to do the dishes. If someone's going to do the dishes, then I'll cook at home all the time.
Justin, what is your cheat day binge food?
If I'm home, pizza.
Okay. The Bachelor or The Bachelorette?
The Bachelor, I think the girl drama on the back end is hilarious.
Tell me a current teammate most likely to win Survivor.
Zach Groats.
Tell me a teammate who is most likely to have already made his own hand sanitizer.
Zach Groats.
Go to. All right. Would you rather make an all-star team, or win a Gold Glove?
Ooh, that's really good. Obviously, you want to make an all-star team. I think that's really dope. But I think winning a Gold Glove too as a pitcher is really special.
Okay.
It's tough to do.
Are you going to answer the question?
I can't pick both. Can I do both in the same year?
Nope.
No.
One.
Win a Gold Glove because I didn't win one in camp this year. So I didn't win the Gold Glove tourney, so I need to win.
Right.
Griffey or Edgar?
Griffey.
All right. Last one. Would you rather win a Cy Young or throw a perfect game?
Cy Young.
This is a popular answer amongst
Cy Young
pitchers.
I like that answer.
But it's great hanging out with you, man. And hopefully we'll be seeing you in person, face-to-face, sometime very soon. But we appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah,
yes,
JD,
thanks y'all for having me.
Man. Been a pleasure
Appreciate
talking to you. And, man, I hope we can get the season going. But I'll look forward to seeing you again. I can't wait to see what you're going to do for us this year and for years to come. This is going to be an unbelievable experience for all of us. And I hope Mariners fans are ready for what you're going to bring, man. You're something special. So I'm looking forward to it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Marco, I'll see you next week, my man.
Sounds good, Goldie. See you, man.
Thanks for watching the Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldy, presented by Coors Light. Make sure to subscribe to the Mariners YouTube channel for more great Mariners content.